Hi, I'm KJ Scriven, and welcome to Strengthen Your Walk. We're still continuing our conversation around worship. What is the beauty and the power and the purpose of worship? And so yesterday we talked about how worship fills us with the Spirit of God and empowers us to live a life for Him. But today we're going to talk about theology in worship and how worship actually teaches us. Worship is a tool that is used to instruct us as well. It shapes the way we think about God. We're in the book of Colossians now, Colossians chapter 3. Paul is speaking to the Colossian church, and he says this here in verse 16. He says, "Let the word of Christ," you see that, "dwell richly." Let the word of Christ dwell richly among you in all wisdom, watch this, teaching and admonishing one another through, watch this, psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs, singing to God with gratitude in your hearts. And whatever you do, in word or in deed, do everything in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through Him. So notice what he says. He says, one of the ways that you teach and admonish each other is through psalms and hymns and spiritual songs. So even when you're, whether you are listening to songs on your Apple Music or your Spotify and your headphones, whatever you're listening to music, or whether you're worshiping together in a congregation, you are actually being shaped in your theology and your faith and your belief of God, about God. You know, some of the most weird theological beliefs that people have that are not true, they didn't learn from a sermon. They actually learned from a song that had bad theology in it. So we should be even careful in the songs that we sing, because these songs shape and teach us and shape the way we think about God. You know, the education system actually even knows this. Did you know, I'm about to blow your mind. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Did you know that the melody to the ABC song that you learned growing up is the same melody to Twinkle Twinkle Little Star? Mind blown. Watch this. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, how I wonder what you are, right? Even in the education system, they know that music has the ability to bypass the guardrails of your brains. So even as you're listening to me right now, if I'm talking, you can ignore me. But if I'm singing, it bypasses the guardrails of your brain, and melody helps you remember. It's a scientific fact. God knew this, and this is why He gave us instruction. Hey, as you sing, you are also being taught theology. So when you tie melody to truth, you have the ability for it to sink down even deeper in your heart, for you to remember it. So this is a great tool for us. When you worship, when you sing, this is another benefit of worship that God has given us. When we worship and we sing, we are also being encouraged. He says, let the word of Christ dwell richly among you as you teach and admonishing each other through psalms and hymns and spiritual songs. Worship is a beautiful thing, isn't it? Hey guys, thank you for joining us for Strengthen Your Walk.